Please do a tutorial on this. At Happy Gilmore 2100.
Happy. I've got you. I'm going to take my old video on this topic and narrate through the steps for you. I'll focus only on the Fusion 360 portion of this video as I'm assuming this is what you were asking about. Love your movies, by the way. Before we start, let me give you a bird's eye view of the process. First, we will work in Fusion's Forms menu by inserting a plane onto our canvas. Next, we will mold the plane to the shape of what we are trying to model. In this case, it is the A10 canopy. The following step will have us using sketched canopy lines to make cuts into the form we previously molded. Finally, we will add material and color in the Fusion's render environment. The narration will add information and insight my last video may have missed. Let's get started. We'll start by inserting a plane from Fusion's Forms menu and position it on the plane's top view for general scale. Subdivide the plane along the length and width using the boxed arrows. At this point, you'll want to keep the number of subdivisions low as the first step will be to get the general shape of the canopy. Select Mirror in the Symmetry box and check Length. This will allow you to do half the work while keeping the form symmetric for better results. At this point, move the plane to the profile view of the plans. Use the Move command by typing M or right-click, then select Move. When selecting the Move pivot point, select the center of the plane you inserted. This will make it easier to keep the plane centered when moving to the profile view. Please note, you can skip a step by inserting the plane directly to the profile view if you wish. I only started with the top view for a bit of scaling. Once the Move command is active, you can use the modifiers that show up on the screen. Arrows move in straight lines along the same axis. The square box is a free move along a single axis and the arcs are for rotation. Keep in mind, we are still in the Forms workspace. Now we will start shaping the canopy. Notice the center line of the plane is at the center line of the plans because we chose the center of the plane to pivot our plane. To bring up modifiers for our Forms plane, right-click and select Edit Form. A new set of modifiers will appear allowing us to modify the plane. These modifiers are similar to the modifiers from the Move command with the exception of the small lines surrounding the square box. These lines allow for expansion and contracting selected parts of our plane. You can select faces, edges, and vertices on the plane to modify. Because we've made our plane symmetric, I'm starting with modifying half the faces and aligning them with the plans. I've added another set of faces downward. This extra face will be cut out later in the final design and was added only to ensure coverage. To add the extra set of faces, select the perimeter of the canopy and while the Edit Form command is active, hold down the Alt button and drag the arrow button in the direction you'd like to add the faces. Now it's time to make more adjustments to the canopy. While in the Edit Form command, use the modifiers that appear again and start massaging your canopy into shape. You'll see in the next few minutes, I'll use the various options such as face, edge, and vertices to make adjustments to the shape. Be sure to go slow and experiment to see what the different options will do to the overall shape. If you've made a change you didn't like, hit Ctrl-Z and it will undo the last command. You can hit Ctrl-Z as many times as you need to undo multiple changes you may not have liked. Because I couldn't quite get the shape that I wanted with the original subdivisions, I add more edges onto the plane for finer shaping. You can find the Insert Edge command in the Modify menu at the top of the command ribbon. Notice the extra set of faces we added earlier are well below the drawn canopy lines from the plans. This is to ensure we mold the complete canopy. We will later cut and discard any excess. Take your time and make any adjustments you need. The shaping is the longest part of this process, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Once you're satisfied with the shaping, we will need to convert the plane into a body by using the Thicken command. Select Finish Form at the top in the command ribbon. Finishing the form will take you back to the Solid menu. Right-click the canopy and select Thicken or find the Thicken command under the Create menu. Thicken your part inward to your spec. Now that we have a canopy, we will create the section separations by using the lines from the original plans. After hiding the created body, we will now trace the canopy using Fusion sketch tools. Select the plane you laid the canvas on to trace directly onto the canvas. Ensure the tracings extend past the top of the canopy. We will be using the tracings as a cutting tool. Use the Insert Plane at Angle command found in the Construct menu. This will allow us to draw onto a plane directly in front of the canopy. At this point, we are ready to make cuts into the canopy body we created using the lines we traced. Bring back the body and hide the canvas. In the Modify menu, select the Split Body command. For the body, select the canopy. For the splitting tool, select the sketched canopy lines. Repeat this process for all the traced lines. This process of splitting the body will result in separate body sections as can be seen in the browser tree. The purpose of this process is to allow us to create individual faces that we can offset to create a visual separation. At this point, we can remove any unwanted parts by either hiding them or right-clicking the part and selecting Remove from the browser tree. Now you can offset the faces by typing O or selecting the Offset command in the Modify menu. While I did not show it here, you can then recombine all the bodies back into one body with the new separations created by the offsets. Finally, we enter the render environment. Select the color wheel at the top and drag and drop materials and adjust color. Make sure Faces is selected so that individual faces can be worked on. Note, I did not recombine the separate bodies into a single body. Welp, that does it for me. Hope that helps at Happy Gilmore 2100.